We are here this morning to launch this important exercise. Those of you who are old enough remember the vaccination campaigns of the 70s. I know many of you are very young and you don't, and you are town warriors. Your rural life experience is very limited. But immediately after independence, I think 10 years after independence, there were major campaigns to vaccinate, and there used to be an annual activity, predictable. People used to wait for them. Livestock used to be much more than they are now, and people were very happy. I'm happy today that we have revived the service to our communities, and that we are launching a 1 million animal vaccination campaign. And it is coming at the right time because you have heard recently that we now want to invest in an abattoir which should provide a market for our livestock. And that abattoir will require animals to feed it. And since that it will be run by the private sector, we don't know what the capacity, the end capacity of that will be, because whatever we put there, we are putting in, I think a facility exists which was built by the African Development Bank, the Kenya government through a loan from the African Development Bank. We want to put 50 million shillings to complete that facility. The national government has pledged to give us some equipment worth about 234 million shillings. And once it's fully operational, and we expect the private investor to introduce further capacity, so at the end of the day, when that abattoir is fully operational, we don't know how many animals it will need to be operational throughout the year, depending on how many shifts it wants to run, because you can run 3 shifts of 8 hours every day. And we're going to leave that to the private sector, because once we put in the initial 50 million and it is complete, we are going to advertise for a private sector operator to come and run that facility. And part of their proposal will be what is it that they want to do with this facility. How many animals can they process in this facility? And some of them have already come to us. One said that he will need, he'll process 500,000 animals per day, per year. That is more than 1,000 animals a day, every day, because the year has 365 days. So that is more than 1,000 animals a day. What could ideally happen is, you know that our because of climate change, global warming, environmental issues, refugee pressures, our livestock numbers have reduced. So what ideally that means is, over time, we could run out of livestock to feed that factory. Although in our proposal we expect to have a catchment area up to Somalia, 200 kilometers into Somalia. But ideally, it means that we can have an abattoir here with an investor who has put his money, with a county government which has put its money, which was expected to provide a market for us and our neighbors, but which could run out of livestock because there's no animals to feed it. And it's something which can happen. Recently, I went to Jigjiga in Ethiopia, and they have a huge facility there of an abattoir they have built. And when I was there, it was closed because they had no animals. So it's a real thing which can happen. That's why I'm happy recently that people who have started buying livestock and started fattening them. It's something which I want to encourage, of course, through the right processes in terms of land acquisition and other things. But it is a good move, and we want to encourage many more. But even then, their market is only the same. They only fatten, but they don't rear animals. Therefore, vaccination is a very important component of our social life, and it's one which we want to be done on an annual basis, and we're happy that partners are supporting us. Now that livestock has disappeared, as all the numbers have reduced, the occupation of our people in terms of livelihoods is a major concern for us. And it's a thing we think about every day. Unfortunately, in our county, we are in transition. Like the devolution has started last year. We should have had our transition the first 5 years. But I think our processes, for whatever reason, aborted. We didn't create institutional infrastructure to support our programs. We didn't create institutional or physical infrastructure to support or to allow county operations. So there's a lot of competition for the little resources we have because we're still in transition. But when we reach an ideal situation where we are settled, there will be certain programs which the public can expect on an annual basis, fully funded by us, to provide livelihood. Support the livelihood which exists, including vaccination among the livestock. Support the few farmers who are near the river. But we need something beyond that, because the number of people who have graduated out of livestock and now they are in poverty villages need an alternative livelihood which can support them in the long term, and today it is not there. We want to support more vaccination with international partners and attract more funding for this vaccination so that we can extend it even to Somalia. Because once it is our catchment area, then it will going to affect our market. Once our meat is to be exported, certain markets might demand a certification of the meat which they are going to eat. Of course, our meat is very attractive because the free-range grazing is a big boost because our meat can be considered as organic. But if our animals have not been vaccinated against certain diseases, especially all of our catchment area, then our meat will not be accepted in certain markets. That will force us to go and vaccinate even in Somalia, parts of Somalia which is our catchment area with all the insecurity, so that we can get the necessary certification that our meat is fit for those markets which need it. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy, of course, among the partners, if we want to partner with IGAD, I think they have a program. It used to run under the AU in the past. But we want commitment from the staff, from the department. I know there are shortages of resources. This year we invested our money in water, and we have still not reached a level where we can say that we are free of water problems. Even this town still has water issues. And it is the smallest unit, maybe 300,000 people in one place who can enjoy the same services. We have put all the money we can put. We got support from the national government. We are getting support now from the World Bank. But still, Garissa town problem is not solved because the problem has accumulated over many, many years. Therefore, I want to encourage the department to continue with the good work. Let this be an annual activity. If we had an animal census, maybe which we need to carry out, we need to know how many animals we have, where. Our population today has moved to almost 8 other counties, 7 other counties and Somalia. Some of the population are in Wajer, Isiolo, Meru, Tarakaniti, Kitui, Tana River, Lamu. Our people are in all those counties. In fact, 50% of our livestock are not even here. We may need even to follow them there and vaccinate them there because they still bring animals to our market.